All right, folks, we're back, and oh right, I forgot these swapped because I dragged it earlier. Game, no, I can't win, right? We got the robo mic, got the low mic, whatever the hell's going on. We got game number 1 in a best of 5 grand finals coming up in this PvP. Now you might be wondering why it's best of 5, and it's because this actually doesn't have like the craziest, most zaniest prize pool of all time, and yeah. It's a decent amount though. $400 total for the prizing today, with, of course, $50 for 3rd and 4th place. So that's going to be going out to Bly and Keen. But then $100 for the loser of this series and $200 for the winner. So not too shabby. This guy just picked up a ton of cash though. I don't know that he needs any more. In the top right, it's Ting's Red Protoss, Neeb.
In the bottom left is the blue teal Protoss. It is ShoWTimE.
Who wants to cast the game upside down? 'Cause that's where we're at right now.
Ah, yay! This breaks my brain.
That feeling when the top right of the map looks like the bottom right of the map.
Yeah. So that happens on Dusk Towers. Sorry, we mess up intros sometimes. Did we do sub shoutouts?
We didn't. We actually missed a bunch. You want to round this off real quick while we get into this game?
I'm pretty sure we left off on Dankling. Black Sword for 29 months. Hooray. Valen Chen for 31 months. Apollo Grub so cute. For Forward has been a new sub, Twitch Prime. Zanaka for the 34-month resub, and a Barco for the 4-month resub. Thank you all very much.
And I think as fun as the subscriber mode enabling for the bits are, we actually haven't had almost really very many bits today, so I think going forward we'll probably just leave the bit boss strictly to bits. I don't want to discourage bits. They've been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that, and then I guess Nate also had the same idea. Where like, yeah, they noticed people just do sub.
It was a nice test though, and I don't regret doing it for today.
Yeah. But yeah, the bit boss part still definitely works. I mean, I thought I couldn't get it on my observing, right? Production, whatever you want to call it, like 2 days ago. And I was like, well, wait a second, I think I can. So I couldn't get the actual widget to work, the browser source. For some reason, it kept on popping up with mine, even though I was on the browser that was logged into BaseTradeTV.
Yep. I
don't know how that worked. But I could pop it out. So I just popped it out, and immediately the bits started flowing.
Well, I think I had a lot of fun trolling with it, realizing what I could do with my profile picture.
Yes, yes. I went through my subs to clean it up a little bit, and I saw that you still have the icon on. So, thank you. I do.
Sound good, butts.
Thank you to I Am Rakiti for the Twitch Prime sub, and Swelf for the new sub as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
See, I was worried. I feel like there was a lot more subs than that. Would I shout it out?
Well.
No, there wasn't. Okay,
I don't know about any of that. I was gonna mention though, what's cool is like, all right, new subs, awesome, great, resubs, even excellent. But the new emoticon list actually has it so like you earn points towards your next emoticon unlock, and we're actually 20 subs away, so 20 points away from unlocking another emoticon, which I think is gonna be kind of cool.
Very nice. There's some scuffles happening, but I was pretty sure I missed 1 or 2, and then I did. So Rob Seclecto is a new sub that just didn't pop up on Twitch Alert for some reason.
And then I'm
yeah, once again, I guess they pressed the button, so thank you. Things happening, but Rickon, if you want to see some cute stuff, you can look at my webcam.
Oh, I should definitely put this on for the stream then.
Nexus coming down here, a bit of a scuffle in the middle of the map. Adepts gets maybe 1 or 2 probes in ShoWTimE's natural. But it's Phoenix versus Phoenix. It starts out this way, it generally ends up this way forever.
Well, so Phoenix versus Phoenix, this is not a new strategy. This has actually been around for a while. Oh, she's resting on him. Oh, that's so cute. Phoenix versus Phoenix can be quite silly, though. Like, it's cool, and it actually, this, if nothing else, really displays skill of the players, right? But this can be such a dumb thing sometimes, where it's almost worse than Muta versus Muta. It's not even like having 1 extra Muta matters, but like getting 1 extra shot matters.
It's a silly thing, really. But what's interesting about this is that ShoWTimE didn't know Neeb was going for Phoenix, and Neeb I don't think he knew ShoWTimE was going for Phoenix either. Like they both didn't know. So one person could have continued making up to 5, while the other person only wanted to make 3 and then transferred out. That really does greatly impact how the game goes.
Nah,
And Neeb
double
was
down instead.
very, well, he was close, or ShoWTimE was close to it. Yeah, okay, I messed up who was building the robo. But the point is, someone built a robo, and you don't really need one if you're going to go into true Stargate versus Stargate. Maybe, like, much later, but it's not something you really want to invest into if your opponent's also building Phoenixes. So, you know, ShoWTime's second Stargate's a little bit late, and that could just seriously be the snowball effect. It can be that stupid. Are you just watching my cats? Because they're so cute.
They're snuggling, and she's Nugget, so she's like nuggling on them. It's so cute.
Oh my god, it's so good. Yeah, they Apollo always wants to play with her and like snuggle with her, so he'll always be like making those chirping sounds at her, you know, like and then she'll leave. She's an independent cat.
I was up late last night watching cat and raccoon best friend videos.
Oh, of course. Well, this is interesting. Now Phoenix versus Phoenix Wars have one, you know, a lot of things in common with Muta and Muta, but like along with that is also the idea that you have to be pretty damn sure you're gonna win if you're gonna take the fight. And you know, if there's a ground army, even if you're winning the Phoenix War, it doesn't snowball that much. So Neeb is being aggressive with not only his Phoenix but his army on the ground, which is bare bones. No blank, no Resident Enclaves.
Also, Kalari Shatal, fuck you. I mean, thanks for the resub.
Yeah. You've got it right for the last 6 months. Yeah. Well, this was the mistake that ShoWTimE wasn't supposed to make. Neeb did have a greater count.
Yeah, like with Stalker support on the ground and a couple overcharges, there's a lot of ways this could have and should have gone better for ShoWTimE. But losing out on such a vast Phoenix count, and let's not forget, like, they both doubled up. Like, they both went for the extra Stargates. This was something that, you know, it's meant to be more than just a couple of units made. This can snowball very, very badly.
Neeb had the faster Stargate, so he's up to now even occasionally 3 Phoenixes. I don't know. It was very weird that ShoWTimE almost threw away his Phoenixes to what was an overwhelming count. But no, it's all good for the most part. I mean, it still is ShoWTimE being down, but they both get to a fleet beacon at the same time, so no leads there. They both have a third base on the same time, no real leads there. It is just Neeb's Phoenix count.
She reached over him.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know.
All right, so what's kind of interesting actually is the range upgrade on the Phoenix, which is what these fleet beacons are for. I feel like she doesn't have that big of an impact. It can, right? Like if you start out of range of the fight, then you'll forever be out of range of the fight because you can move and shoot. But we've actually seen enough of these games where it has very little to no impact. But they're both going to get it. They're both going to have it finished. There's not going to be any contest, so whatever for that. I still am going to bring this up, though, because I still have not seen a cooler way to come back in a PvP where you're down at Phoenix. We've seen 2 different ways to make this kind of come back, right? One's the Roddy way I love referencing because it was the only time we've ever seen anyone pull it off, and that was warping in some sentries on the ground to hallucinate Phoenix, having the hallucinate Phoenix soak the shots so that your real Phoenixes ended up winning the fight that you were behind in. Secondly, we have seen actually Templar and feedbacks be a pretty cool part of this, too, as they will pretty much annihilate any Phoenix that they can get their hands on, but that's a little bit more risky than even the hallucinations, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if the game really goes on until 4 or 5 bases, you're going to have excess minerals and gas. And getting, like, fitting in Templars or fitting in a mothership, apparently, or whatever it is possible without significantly losing out on the Phoenix War. But it is like 4 or 5 bases, which they are both getting to, so it's probably going to happen. ShoWTimE goes for the Stargate, but Neeb adds on a mothership. Neeb also did bother adding on a Robo and a Twilight Council just a little bit later.
Actually, this is kind of interesting, because I don't think we've seen a variation of this that really had the mothership incorporated with it. It's kind of a counterintuitive unit, because Phoenixes are, well, they're fast and maneuverable, and the motherships are not. However, the cloak is going to be a huge aspect to this, and ShoWTimE has evened up the Phoenix count. Had, past tense.
Yeah, I mean, they're constantly, like, they're very close to each other, so there's some moments where they're even, some not. They're even really close on the +1 timings. I don't even remember. I think I knew the dynamic of upgrades before. It's +3 that only affects the Phoenix 4, right? Something like that.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, there was something. I don't remember off the top of my head. We had talked about this before though, where the upgrades don't matter until a certain point.
It's something pretty extreme too. So I feel like it is +3. Adepts is +2 for depth versus depth.
You know what? +3 sounds right, but I don't actually know for sure.
And I don't want to do the math, neither do you.
For those who don't know what we're discussing, it's like you get +1 on the Phoenix, and it still takes the same amount of shots to actually kill another Phoenix. It's like +3, I think, is when you get that one less shot, so damage saved.
Yeah, I think that is how it works. The thing is, Phoenix Wars are already pretty rare. There was like a month where they were the most common thing because everyone was going Stargate, and that was fun. But they're still pretty rare. And then the idea of getting to +3, you'd have to have a very long game to have that happen. And even in the very long game, it might be more worth to add on 2 more Stargates as opposed to +3.
By the way, I've never left the cat cam on this long before. I'm so sorry, everybody.
Yeah.
But mothership to mothership, Phoenix to Phoenix, dust to dust, and ashes to ashes, all that. This is going to be pretty tough to deal with. Detection is going to be one of the biggest problems, I think. They both have one single observer. If either player has their observer sniped off, then this is bad news bears.
Yeah, that is hilarious. It's going to be so hard to snipe that.
I mean, there's no Oracle for Revelation yet. There we go. Now comes in. Neeb's is going to be a little bit later, actually. But Revelation is so important with the mothership.
Again, going back just how few times it's happened, I'm not surprised that Neeb was a little bit late to the idea. He was a little bit earlier in a lot of other ideas, like Second Stargate and the Beacon and all that, so...
Oh, he gets the mothership.
Shit.
Whoa, I don't think anyone was expecting that, especially not Neeb.
Yeah. I mean, Phoenix, to be honest, Phoenix projectiles do not look that strong. They're kind of like light and airy and they don't look like much. But I guess when there's like 30 of them, they deal a lot of damage.
Does it bother you that the Phoenix is a unit that has no resurrection-related mechanics at all? Because it bothers me.
No, because they're going more for like the red ship, right? Which Neeb has. This one doesn't.
This fight, by the way, is going to be a little bit scrappy, but should still favor Neeb. He's got way more Phoenix than that at ShoWTimE. And until that observer gets randomly picked off, or Revelation wears off, there's no advantage to the mothership. There's no stealth here. Mothership actually goes down. And this is going very much in the favor of Neeb, starting to snowball. He gives chase. He's not going to give up. 16 Phoenix to 10. Tries to bring him over the cannons, hoping for some assistance, but it's not going to be enough. And Neeb takes such a big lead in that air fight.
A lot of his Phoenixes are very low, so definitely those cannons could have been very helpful, but still 5 Phoenixes at a time. Neeb is on 6 bases. He's going to 6 bases.
6
like, what the hell? I think he's won this. ShoWTimE could desperately try and transfer over since he has officially lost the Phoenix War. But when you have 30 Phoenixes, even if you transfer over into 12 Blink Sockets at a time, the Phoenixes will still win.
Yeah, they'll still pick all of them up is the problem. I mean,
yeah,
Phoenixes... Still making Phoenix are not terrible ideas. They're still going to deal damage. They're still going to be able to get some shots in, but I just feel like Neeb's got too many. 21/6. He can fight through an overcharge and then some. Stalkers, cannons, mothership, who cares? GG!
How did he get the carrot?
European keyboards.
You might be right. I was going to ask if that was on purpose. Or maybe European keyboard.
Well, hopefully we're not going to have a DreamHack style air war. This is what I got really worried about, but then it was Phoenix, so it wasn't that bad. But Funky Monkey hit us up with a 15-month resub. I don't remember if we got that. I think that was new. Cool. The plebs in chat are complaining about the cats. Like, nothing is funnier to me than when a non-subscribed person threatens to unsubscribe from the channel. Like, seriously. I don't think there's anything that gets me to fuck off faster.
Or that other people would unsub based off their opinions as a non-sub.
Yeah. This channel's been built on cats, so welcome to BaseTradeTV. What's map number 2 looking like?
Proxima.
Proxima.
The first time we've seen it.
And I guess just while we're waiting, for those that didn't get to catch it earlier, here's the t-shirt preview. Speaking of cats and stuff. Oh, I loaded the version without a background this time. But you can see, where's my webcam here? Where's my finger go? Right over here is one of the cats, and then right down there is the other. And this is, yeah, we're waiting for the t-shirt to actually get approved by Teespring. But this is the design, and I'm super, super thrilled with it. It looks super dope.
It is pretty cool.
But countdown has begun. Let's hop into game. So we're getting into map 2 here for the finals.
People
talking about the mothership taking so much damage from the Phoenix. The thing is, the Phoenix doesn't actually deal bonus damage to the mothership in any way, shape, or form. It's just you've got that many units shooting at it. That many upgraded units at that point, too. Well, map number 2, we'll see what it leads into. In the bottom left, it is going to be the red Protoss Neeb. My camera has broken once again. Awesome.
In the top right, as the blue Protoss, he is ShoWTimE.
So you've got your two cats being super cute. Let me get the cat cam back up again.
Okay.
Well, what happened if you like walked over and poked them while they're like this? Oh, what an annoying mom. Aww. They're so cute. She's got she's got 2 handfuls of cats right now. I couldn't be more jealous.
It seemed pretty patient about it.
Yeah. All right, well. Oh, she just goes back to being super cute. You snuggled in. Nuggets.
I know.
Adorable.
I'm so glad they got together.
I'm so glad, yeah. I'm so glad they got along too, because I was really worried your cats were going to end up like mine and they would just hate each other. And I was really very sad about that. I was hoping my cats would be best friends.
Well, Apollo is pretty desperate for attention all the time, so.
There you go.
I thought it makes sense. It is Proxima, and this is like the first time we've seen this map in like any series. But PvP, this has been. I know why, but I also don't know why. You know, it's just like it. Of all the matchups, on all the maps, I feel like this one is the most just repetitive of PvPs. Like it's always the wall off on the front because they don't want you to scout. They're not gonna go for a Nexus even though it's right there. And then a lot of the time it's also like a Stargate or a proxy Stargate. Yeah.
Yo, shout out to Mr. Korthal, by the way, for knowing who Gashi is. Okay, Azella is less than you would expect, I guess. Gonna march across the map and maybe tear down a pylon, but ShoWTimE going for a stalker should be able to deal with this.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's like, I feel like, oh my god, oh, jeez, it happened all over again.
What?
Stargate, not proxied, but ShoWTimE with the scouting and harassing probe is proxying. And this is what always happens, it feels like, on Proxima Station and PvP. Just, no one can play nice. Stalker does take care of the Zealot, not that I was going to do very much at all. But of course, much more worried about the Dark Shrine that ShoWTimE is getting. He didn't proxy it, but he has a proxy to warp it in. Pretty scary.
I see a lot of people like the shirt design. That's awesome. Yeah, the campaign is currently pending, guys, so hopefully in the next day or two it should be available to the public. It's not meant to be a once-off shirt like we've done with other ones in the past. It's one I do want to just have like available at all times if we can. So, yeah, people say I'd buy that shirt. I certainly hope you do.
Well, the Dark Shrine is almost finished up here. ShoWTimE got a full scout and barely saved his militia core while on Neeb's base. Neeb, of course, has an Oracle, which ShoWTimE knows about, but you can still make DTs work.
Well, I'm trying to watch the vision of it. Does he even see the Dark Shrine? Oh, okay, big scout here.
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. I didn't even think he was going to try and get back there, but it's a good thing that he did. Well, now, yeah, you know, you could build a second Oracle. You know, if it was already finished, right, and you're just in a hurry, you can just try and wait for the Robo. You know almost for a fact, I want to say, that they don't have a Warp Prism available to send it in, so all you do is just hold on to your main ramp a little bit longer than usual. And this isn't going to work for ShoWTimE. But his response to being scouted is really quite out there. Double Stargate. Double Stargate. Wow, instant reveal. Instant. And ShoWTimE did only, of course, send one in, knowing the revelation would be available. Damn. All right, then. Neeb's up 7 workers. He has... Well, he was on his way to better tech. Like, he has the robo already, so he can start building immortals and, like, what would have been a usual PvP. It's not going that direction again. ShoWTimE has double Stargate. Neeb still producing a Void Ray even from his Stargate. No Twilight Council for either player. Oh, well, of course ShoWTimE has one because of the Dark Shrine, but no intention to research from a Twilight Council.
Oh, that's awkward.
This is going to be very wonky.
If he picks up the stalker, he can't kill it. It's a bit of a problem.
There you go. ShoWTimE could even maybe hide his double Stargate by only sending 2 Phoenixes out to stop the scouting party. Because 2 Phoenixes by this time, you know, that could have come from 1 Stargate, right? But I think the Oracles might just get destroyed, and in doing so, scout double Stargate. But Neeb's going for a double Stargate as well. Why?
This is so weird considering we've seen so many dynamics of this matchup go like Zealot Archon, and then the standard became Blink Stalker Disruptor. And both ShoWTimE and Neeb were like, nah, screw that. We know how good Air is.
It's also these guys have played before, you know? Like, if these are guys we don't really know a lot of about...
Well, they had that one really long game of DreamHack. Like, just this last week.
Phoenixes. That's the thing, though, is that we know what they play like most of the time. We know what they play against each other because they're a really epic match, a best of 5, all 5 games. And I don't think a single one of them included Phoenix was Phoenix. I was a little bit asleep for most of the games. But I feel like I would have remembered. So this is just really blowing my mind.
Someone in chat wants to know if we make Zombie Grub pet her cats with bits. I'm pretty sure she would not mind.
Yeah, what kind of...
Like 500 bits, poke Apollo gently.
Yeah, I can see it, can't. Okay, so while we're like kind of having fun, I guess, about what is happening here, it is very important to note that ShoWTimE had a much faster lead on getting to Phoenixes, purely Phoenixes. Now, Neeb has started his Phoenixes, but he had the 2 Oracles, he only had 1 Gateway, or Stargate rather. Now he has 4 Stargates, and a faster 3rd, because of course you can't let the buildings with Phoenixes, so a 3rd is totally within his right to try and get. Void Ray and Potent Overcharge and Stalker still does not help all the Phoenixes. Phoenixes.
This is snowballing a little bit, but it's still not enough to really take this game anywhere too crazy just yet.
Neeb should be able to come back, but he doesn't have the gas for it. He has 4 Stargates to 2. He would be able to come back in the count if his team stopped dying and he had the gas. But that's just not happening. His teams just pop out and they die. The gases are only just being taken to 3rd base with probes. Oh, that was funny. Coincidentally killed the Phoenix that was lifting the Stalker. Probes are, of course, up for grabs. Structures might not be, but probes definitely are. ShoWTimE does something very curious again and goes for the 4th base as his 3rd. Why? Why, though?
Don't look over here. Don't look at me, silly boys. Oh my god, your cats are like yin and yanging so hard right now. Alright, because resources lost is starting to become important, I'm gonna hide cat cam. Sorry, fam. Love the cats, but as you can see, this is such a ShoWTimE dominant game in a really big way. And
yes, and also no, quite yet.
Okay, so I was waiting for you to... That's like the longest hanging interruption of all time. Would you like to elaborate?
No, you can go on.
Well, the reason I think this is running away in a very good way for ShoWTimE is, like, he's done a great job at knocking Neeb. Like, I feel like he kicked out his shins from below him, right? So Neeb's like hobbling on the ground. He's not dead, but he's still crawling. Kind of like that kid from the Friends, I guess.
I don't remember that one.
The crippled kid.
I
That's
see what you're saying. Gotcha.
Neeb is Bran Stark right now.
Gotcha. Well,
ShoWTimE. Oh my God, ShoWTimE's the White Walkers. Look at the blue.
I mean, ShoWTimE should be able to win this game because the snowball effect should be super, super real. But Neeb, despite being just absolutely controlled over his own bases, has managed to keep like an okay supply. Not great, especially since ShoWTimE is on 4 bases now, taking the 3rd at his 4th, and then his 3rd too. Quay, I don't know.
His 4th and his 4th and his 3rd. Got it.
Yeah, I don't know, but Neeb is like still trying to hold on here, and he is given up on the idea of Phoenix, which was very unfortunate because he invested in the 4 Stargates, and he did not have a very early Twilight Council at all, so it's still not only halfway done.
If the Stargates didn't cost gas, I know, God forbid, that wouldn't be such a detrimental thing for him. Especially as he's banking a bunch. Not even like, Griffin, what are you talking about? But like, honestly, this is such an expensive route to go just to even build the buildings like this.
If you could salvage buildings as Protoss all over the place, but you'd be salvaging all 4 Stargates.
Well, none of the balance of the game, you'd get 75% for a bunker, but 140% for a Stargate.
Sure.
Kappa.
Neeb, I mean, Neeb is desperate. Like, he knows his position. He knows he didn't do what he wanted to. Given, like, 30 more seconds to a minute of his quadruple Stargate production, he's back in the air war.
Yeah.
But he just never got it. So he was kind of forced to try and just make do with what he could get, and that was ground units. So he's now getting Blink, and he's trying to get the Temple Archives for feedbacks, I assume. Maybe Archons, just in general, both deal well with the Phoenixes. But it's a very difficult game. And ShoWTimE's not just keeping on Phoenixes, which I would assume Neeb realizes, seeing no more for some time. And I don't know if Neeb could ever deal with a mass, like, Tempest carrier army in the late game. You really have to cut that down early, not let it get to it at that point, and I just don't think it's going to happen.
I stand against the darkness.
He stands in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and this cannon's coming down, so...
I don't think he even scouted the 4th. That is the worthless TT. Very worthless.
I should have been the cat.
Oh boy.
Back. They got a better chance of winning this game than Neeb right now. Ooh, no, that's really BM, but I do like the moves Neeb's making. This is what we talked about last time. Whether you're going to go for Archons or whether you're going to go for just feedbacks, the thing is, like, Phoenix just can't lift these up. They can't stay clumped up when they're in range of the Archons, too. The Stalkers might have something to say, but while everything Neeb is doing is actually a great way to deal with what is probably a Depth/Phoenix or whatever variation of Phoenix there is, it's not just Phoenix. ShoWTimE moved on towards carriers. And unfortunately, this army, I don't know, not so good against carriers. It's cannons and this many void rays covering.
Yeah, this is the type of army that would do well if ShoWTimE was just now building his army, but he's already progressed quite some ways. Oh Jesus! Oh Jesus!
Oh, prismatic alignment is so cool.
It's
okay.
I thought Neeb might have just all in here.
It's not
you know, but he does bother microing.
They're just gonna slow down the movement speed of the void ray when prismatic alignment is on. Okay.
Well, that's definitely for Corruptors, right?
That and probably Vikings.
Yeah, well, the point is air. Neeb never put cannons at his 4th base. I mean, this was an all-in. He just bothered to micro a little bit. How did you not kill the Warp Prism? It's okay. But this game is so totally over. ShoWTimE's already gotten to the big army.
Yeah, and the thing is, yeah, GG, he can start just picking up all those Stalkers as well. So he already had those no problem. He could have had them even more no problem. But
weird.
Gonna have to put those cats on hold. Bye, guys. Can you give them one more pet, one more loving pet before commercial break? I like how they know when you're coming. You just see like their heads raise. They're like, "Oh, mom's coming over." Oh, it's so cute. They're both so. I miss my cat, man. All right, things are tied up 1-1. This is still the finals. It's best of 5. We'll see you guys here in a couple of minutes. Thanks for watching. All right, folks. Welcome back. Thank you very much, Mega Dog, for the bits during that break. Do appreciate it. It says, I don't. Wait, what? I think you forgot a word. I don't for the cat cam or not. Do what you want with cat cam. I will unsub and sub to if no gold, silver, bronze tournament. I am as serious as the non-subs talk about unsubbing. I think you accidentally that bits message, dude.
You accidentally the bits message and accidentally.
I think you accidentally the whole
joke.
thing.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna spam Avila's name a bunch of chat now. Perfect. All right. game number 3. Things are tied up 1-1. Spawning here in the bottom right, we got the red Protoss, Neeb.
In the bottom left is the blue Protoss. It is ShoWTimE.
I've been really thrown off by this. I keep feeling like I'm seeing a UFO out of the corner of my eye. Because they brought a new crane for construction in next door, and there's those counterweights they have on them, like that hang off the back.
Sure. Yeah.
So that thing, the way like I could best describe it is it's centered in the vision of my window wall or whatever. So every time I kind of glance to the right, it just looks like there's a giant UFO hovering in my courtyard or something.
One day you're gonna be visited by a real UFO and not duck and cover.
I know. I'll be complacent to it thanks to this.
That's how they get you. Put in the prop first, get the real thing later. Why? I mean, I really like UFOs. Just seem like the dumbest, cheesiest thing that aliens could visit us with. You know, like if they're really gonna be so technologically advanced, I just hope they would be able to beam in or something, right? Like Star Trek. Or just cool looking ships like in Star Wars.
But here's the problem. You might have the technology to do teleportation a la Star Trek style, but the problem is morally would you want to? Because you're not necessarily the same person coming out of the other end of that transporter, right? You're literally being broken down and basically killed while a clone with your memories is created on the other side. I know I
don't think that's
take
true.
A transporter.
That's
exactly how it works. It breaks down the particles and it stores them inside the computer and rematerializes them on the other side.
Isn't it the same things that you broke down though, putting into the new thing? It's not. I don't think that's what a clone is. Because a clone means that you also still exist. Like.
Yeah, and it kills you. Like it basically kills the original you.
Where did you learn this?
This is how it works. There's actually philosophical debates about this. This isn't like Rifkin being crazy for once.
No, I don't think that you're being crazy, but I would just like to see who's actually thinking and like describing this because I don't think it's canon. I think that people are describing like what could be how you transport people like that. But I don't think it's like canon Star Trek knowledge. But I might be wrong. I'm not really into Star Trek.
Isn't today Star Trek Day anyways?
Oh, lots of people don't like that in chat a bit.
Alright, so finally goes down over here before probes go down over here. So, I mean, decent trade so far, but Neeb does have the stalkers to push off ShoWTimE. Having killed some probes with this, that's pretty nice, and he's still killing probes with it, actually.
Yeah. This is going to be really annoying for ShoWTimE. This is a lot of lost mining time. This is more than enough probes to make it worth it. An Oracle pops out, not a Phoenix, so the most he can do is try and return the damage, but I'm sure Neeb has at least a couple of stalkers.
Yeah, 3's no problem. He's gotten such a weird edge in this game. 9 kills on this mothership core. 10 kills, and then the recall. What?
Damn. That is not supposed to happen. And ShoWTimE tries to go the natural to find freer kills than what he assumed is going to be a defense main, but two probes ain't quite the same.
No. And what's nice about this, though, is, I mean, the Nexus timings are similar, so there's no question of like, okay, well, he lost some workers, but he'll be able to build more sooner. Like, Neeb has definitely got a lead from this opening. And it's so weird that it came from the mothership core, of all things. Normally, I'd say that kills, like, what, 3 and then has to recall, right? Like, that was crazy.
Now I'm all distracted by this idea of Star Trek and Star Wars and UFOs.
Okay, so Zombie just wrote in chat for those who are listening to YouTube later, right? Like, you'd expect aliens to come in a cool, huge fucking starship, not a round disc. But what if a round disc is a cool fucking starship to them?
Well, then they're stupid, and I don't like them. I'm more bothered by someone doing the technicality thing of like a UFO is just an unidentified flying object, but like when people talk aliens and UFO, you know exactly what they mean. Okay, so just calm down there. The technicalities, book out.
Mars Attacks is like the greatest movie, the greatest documentary of all time.
The greatest documentary, there you go. Fix yourself, good sir.
Actually, the one thing I do wonder about, though, more so with all this alien stuff, whether it's StarCraft or Mass Effect or anything, is like, when we do finally meet like another alien race, assuming we do, right?
Yeah.
Are they gonna actually be like I don't know how to describe it, like humanoid,
probably...
like the idea of 2 arms, 2 legs, and whatever different features, like maybe they have gills, whatever, or is it going to be something totally fucking weird, like a blob monster?
Probably a blob monster. I thought you were gonna do with like the whole like peaceful versus non-peaceful thing, because I'm pretty sure after playing Mass Effect enough times, I'm gonna be like that chick in Independence Day that is like on top of the tower, being like, "We're gonna be friends with you."
They're not gonna be peaceful. I'm actually okay. So this is where we get to riffing crazy territory, right? Like, call me crazy, I don't mind. I believe we've actually been really stupid trying to reach out to other life forms, because you got to consider, like, for an alien race to take the time to come here, whatever it is, like spending star fuel on a starship and time and effort, like they have to get something from it. And what are you going to get from an inferior species? Either submission, so slavery, or just plunder the natural resources that we have that they don't. Like, it's such a bad idea that we're sending these messages into space that are like, come find us.
Well,
whoa.
I mean, the assumption is that if...
Stop. What is going on here? ShoWTimE. What?
I think... You're so fucking rude when you do that.
I'm sorry. No, continue your thought. My bad. I was just like, so. I thought this was Neeb.
You can be like, oh, there's something happening that's really weird, but you're just like, stop.
Well, it's like, hold the presses, hold the phone, or whatever that phrase is that we went over, right? Like, who? Cactus Valley, I get it, right? 4-player spawn map. There's all these extra bases. Who does this on Newkirk? This is like crazy, and if he gets away with it, it's gonna be so awesome, right? But PvP, I don't think is necessarily like, it's not an economy game. You're not trying to get like slightly more drones than your opponent has drones. It's about an army. It's an army game.
I don't know. I mean, this series is obviously going to be down a wonky path, despite what was a pretty normal PvP at DreamHack Austin. So, well, apparently 4th base hidden included.
Normal as far as normal goes when it comes to that disgusting air toss game.
Well, all air toss is disgusting.
Okay, we can agree on that. Faux show, but Disruptors and Blink Stalkers this game, so it won't be so disgusting. But this is... I'm just thinking on this more, right? This is the one time, maybe, just maybe, the hidden base might actually be a really effective tool. With the idea that you're going to be able to warp in more stalkers so you can afford to lose more in these sort of casual disruptor fights. But taking this to the extreme, like let's say this goes late and these guys are trading out all game. ShoWTimE will literally be up a base over Neeb, because this will be ideally mined out by the time Neeb finds out about it, right?
Yeah. It really goes on that long. I mean, ShoWTimE, he did kind of the same thing last game. He was already winning last game, so there's that whole dynamic there. But he went for a hidden 4th and a quick enough 3rd. It's really hard to tell what they're benefiting from when you try and attack into them. Neeb is benefiting from his own bases enough to have a 20 army supply lead, or for a time he did. Now 10 army supply lead. Triple robo disruptor production? Really? What the fuck?
Yeah, 3 disruptors at a time is a bit nuts. Nice shot out of ShoWTimE. It's nothing glorious, but it does kill a disruptor.
Yeah, okay. Well, that was a good shot. 9 probes also went down somewhere. +2 is ahead for Neeb. I mean, Neeb really has all the leads except for that 4th base timing. At this point, he also has a 4th base. He just, you know, his opponent's is a little bit sooner, but with less probes. So I guess it's oh Jesus. Oh, yeah, that was a good shot.
That was a very nice shot. I will still be amazed here. Like, there's gonna be so much focus in the southern part of the map. I'm gonna keep bringing this up. Like, this base is so cool to me that he took it. It's so ballsy that he took it. But as good or bad as these trades go, so much of this just comes down to the disruptors. You can have 40 stalkers and they can all die to 2 disruptor shots, right? Like, control's gonna be everything. And so far, ShoWTimE's had the better control. He's gotten the better disruptor shots so far this game.
Definitely with that kill on the 3 disruptors, that was pretty damn good. But Neeb has still an army supply lead and still in the upgrade leads. Snipes an immortal.
Oh, nice pick up there.
Disruptor sniped. Oh lordy. Oh lordy. That was dangerous. Dangerous thing to micro against.
Dude, so Phoenix's disruptors, look at this thing that lets them detonate twice. Can you imagine if that was real in the real game?
Whoa. No, I cannot.
Oh,
This is some
he doesn't
fancy
snipe.
footwork here from Neeb.
Yeah, he actually dances around the shots, which was really cool. And his southern shot got a good one, but then ultimately he runs out of disruptors. Now, new ones are arriving on the front line, but ShoWTimE still has plenty where that came from. It's got to be careful, though. They are starting to stack up quite a bit, and it is actually like microseconds of difference on who shot first that can decide a battle.
Neeb's starting to bank a lot here. He could either just continue being aggressive and controlling the game like he is, thinking he's stopping ShoWTimE from getting a 4th base, or he could also transfer out into mass air. I guess he doesn't have the gas. That's his real limiting factor. Maybe a charge would be worthwhile, just to have something to really use your minerals on.
Yeah, minerals
either way
actually wouldn't be too bad for run buys if you consider it too.
Yeah, and the assumption is going to go into 4, even 5 bases. Run buys will be more important,
wow.
so Neeb does start the charge.
Neeb's lost 9 disruptors this game, where ShoWTime's only lost 3 so far.
Wow.
Disruptor shots there almost bait it. Another one gets off pretty good. Focuses down on another. Neeb can't find a break in this disruptor war.
He can't, but he's reinforcing so quickly and so heavily still off a very powerful economy. It doesn't seem to really... Well, it matters to a certain extent, but Neeb still has about 20 army supply lead, so it's not getting ShoWTimE any true wins. I feel like it should soon enough, but not quite yet.
Yeah, I'm surprised the resources lost is so close. It's really, looking at the numbers here, I guess stalkers are pretty expensive.
Yeah.
That top right base still just plugging away while this goes on. I can't wait to see like what Neeb's reaction is going to be when he finally walks up here. Because Neeb has actually done fast expanding, right? I think it was game 1. He was like on 6 bases or something, right? Like,
yeah, Cactus Valley game. Yeah, he certainly does. I mean, he's doing it very well this game as well. Like, he very fluidly went to a 4th base, and even a 5th base is on the way. But it's funny when at 6th base he's going to be just mined out already, and he's going to be like, what the hell? Well, the 4th, which is really the 5th of ShoWTimE, is going to get the charge lots on it. Charge is about to finish, and they have +3, so everything is ever built. I'm gonna go down really quickly.
yeah, even without that charge, I mean, +3 is going to tear through buildings no problem. So let's get ridiculously hard. South fight still goes on while this happens, though. Both players looking for disruptor shots.
Okay, so all right, they both are going to start transferring out of disruptors. What was that? Oh Jesus! So dangerous.
This is what's funny about that, though, right? Because I feel it's Neeb who needs to transition out. His best bet at this point is getting some Phoenix, Graviton beams, whatever. I don't know that ShoWTimE needs to, but I love that he's willing to match Neeb doing that. Of course, he doesn't know that. Both players are actually just, this is sick game sense and game timing.
The control from Neeb really has been lackluster for the last like 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, there's been some awkward blinks. There's been some pretty bad disruptor shots. But while ShoWTimE starts up carriers, I'm still looking at this like it. All things considered, this ninja base has been cool and fun, but Neeb actually has more bases. He has more income because of this.
Yeah, he's been winning the income advantage. He had more probes for a longer period of time and equal number of bases for when it mattered. So
yeah,
it's funny how that worked out, but it did work out that way. But this is seriously getting to later and later game scenarios. If Neeb just starts to... He has to start transitioning right now. Like, he's only getting a mothership, and that's a little worrying, because ShoWTimE's already getting carriers.
I really want this to go long. I want this to go all the way. Like, mine up that map. Let's see if that base makes a difference.
If it does, it very well might make a difference. I think on Newkirk, funnily enough, what really seems to make the biggest difference is whether or not they tear down the rocks early or at all. Wow, the Immortals. Oh, they're talking about Pylon. I was like, what's going on here?
He's focusing it down so it's the Stargates. That was really good. I like that. But unfortunately, that was a lot of money spent to do just a Pylon snipe. So I'm not sure if worth it at the end of the day. Disruptor shots are firing left and right.
It was mostly charge lots. So as long as he doesn't lose... If he lost his disruptors right now, I think ShoWTimE just pushes and wins. As long as that doesn't happen, I think... Oh, Jesus. The Blizzard's a little bit late there. I think Neeb has... that was actually really good for him to lose those charge lots, to delay the carriers, and find out that ShoWTimE was on his way to carriers. That's what prompted Neeb to start his own. Otherwise, he was only getting a mothership. He's getting a lot more Immortals too, not more disruptors. So I think he's just. Oh God.
I mean, these minerals are actually, seriously, half of this base, if not more, has been mined out. And I'd say what's going to be more devastating later is the gas that's missing, right? But while this goes on, fights in the middle of the map. Carriers are already out for ShoWTimE, though, so he might have a small timing here that he can really use to his advantage, as Neeb is still finishing up. But there's a problem with this, you know. This was actually...
What?
Oh, he's going to recall.
What?
No, I think this is so good. This was actually such an important base because he never actually got a 4th up at home, right? This got canceled. This got canceled. Like, he doesn't actually have anything to fall back to if that base goes down.
Well,
This is apparently a sick offensive point to offensively recall too? What?
Yeah, offensive recall. That's what we're going to call it. So Neeb loses this base, but he still has a couple more that are very healthy with mining.
Oh, gets the probes.
4 probes. But, you know, Neeb did send those zealots that were moved away, basically, for the recall, and a couple more to kill another base of ShoWTimE. So defends a base, kills a base, and I guess Neeb just killed a base, didn't defend his base. But the point is, I don't think their economies truly died out from either side. But ShoWTimE does... He's into the better army faster.
I think so too, but he also does save the probes from the top left, so he knows that that's been figured out. It's not worth sticking around for.
Okay, yeah, so that's like one thing. So really, he did lose 2 bases, the one on the top left and now this one. Well, it's pretty much out already. But Neeb went for shield upgrades, not air weapons. So their upgrades are like funnily even because of the differences, but still like same numbers. I guess ShoWTimE's now getting +1 armor as well. But I was woeing at the fact that ShoWTimE never got graviton catapults. That's hard to say.
Yeah, actually,
yeah, Neeb just finished that.
This actually severely affects the damage of the carriers. Like, eventually they'll all launch out, then the damage will be equalized, but the difference is, Neeb's gonna have all of his interceptors out ready to fight immediately. ShoWTimE's gonna slowly be launching them.
I had no idea that there was differences of launch through first 4 and last 4. I've never bothered looking up the actual, like, specific research on, like, Wikipedia or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But now you guys know, too. The first 4, they leave faster than the last 4, I think.
And the graviton catapult just gets them all out ASAP, but...
No, that's what the graviton catapult does. Like, it increases that specifically.
Yeah, disruptor fight on the ground still going off, though. I mean, what's interesting to consider is, like, carriers are going to be a very important factor in the game. But if there's enough stalkers on the ground, they can still blink forward and focus them down and get some good shots. So these disruptor fights still matter. They still have important units on the ground that will affect the game, but what is this run by?
Whatever units you can get.
I guess it's the resistance.
Yeah, the carrier counts even in favor of ShoWTimE for now. I mean, it looks like he would win the war if disruptor shots went okay for both sides, and he's going to have slightly better upgrades.
Oh man, this is
2-1-1. 2-2-1 rather. Yeah.
This is like watching a Protoss player forget extended thermal lance. Such like an easy thing to forget, but such an important upgrade.
Yeah, I really want to see how that dynamic works. I wish that it was pure carrier versus carrier, just to be like more specific about it. Because usually this is more of a thing we have to worry about with Hydra busts in the early stages of carrier versus carrier, when there's only like 3 or 4, not when there's 8 or 10, and against each other too.
Well, these stalkers are not long for the world, unfortunately, and Neeb's not going to be silly enough to bring his whole army northwards, so still defending this mining base. ShoWTimE, though, his bases should be better off. Neeb's expanding to a base that's been mined out partially, so it's gonna be interesting. But Neeb still, regardless of that mined out base, he was up 1 for so long in this game.
I love this lone sentry for Guardian Shield.
I mean, I like the idea of it. I mean, interceptors don't have high damage, right? He reduces it by 2, and each interceptor hits for like 7.
Yeah. Well, just talking more about the bases, like, yeah, Neeb is gonna have a bit less mining in a little bit, but it came down to what I was talking about. We're on Newkirk specifically because there's rocks on a very usually easy base to take eventually. People just don't bother breaking it down. If one person had sent 4 zealots to break down their rocks, they would have a base that is not being harassed or even checked for.
Yeah,
but instead, both of them didn't.
It's funny because nobody's even scouted this out.
Yeah. No one ever remembers to do that as the game goes on.
Well, this round bike's looking pretty good, but Disruptor's come in to knock out the Immortal, so maybe it won't be such a problem. But he's got to get north. Cannons will buy a little bit of time. And his carrier still don't have grabbers on Catapult. 13 seconds to go. Oh.
Well, he just popped a lot of his Disruptor shots on those Immortals, so even as it comes in here, the Stalkers, the very few amount of Stalkers and Guardian Shield can help out in the air war. 19 probes go down, although it's still pretty even on the worker count.
And then 13 to 12 on the actual carrier count in the favor of Neeb. I mean, they both have Revelation, so there's no reason either should get caught off guard, but the slow-moving ships, this reminds me of, like, pirate ships from movies, like, hard to aft! And, like, take the turn so the cannons can face the ship of the other one.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't know ship terminology.
Oh my god, imagine if carrier shot like that. That would be the most... either the most annoying or really cool micro. I can't even...
Actually, that would be really... I wonder, like, if there was any unit that was like that. Forget carriers even, right? Like, you had some sort of...
It's almost like a
base.
Hellion, where but the Hellion doesn't come out from one place, it attacks in one line. But the carriers have to be in a specific line to attack or wherever. Like,
Well, Interceptor versus Interceptor is about the dumbest thing I've ever seen. They're all cloaked, too, so, you know, there's that going for them. Focus fire on the carriers, though.
Yes.
ShoWTimE focuses first. Neeb takes the first carrier loss.
And then they stop. Like, there's been
I'm not sure what was going on there. It almost looked like Neeb was just on, like, auto attack.
Yeah, he target fired one carrier once, whereas ShoWTimE target fired two, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder if they were thinking, like, is it better to kill the Interceptor or better to kill a carrier? It's pretty... I think it's better to kill a carrier. But
I feel like when you get this many carriers and it's Interceptor versus Interceptor, that's like that slap fight of two, like, not so manly men
like,
fighting,
I thought
right?
Phoenix was stupid, but seeing carriers and Interceptors fight each other was just the worst.
Well, what I'm most intrigued by is nobody went Tempests. Having a couple of this snipe off the carriers and force the engagement on your side could be totally valuable. And it used to be like that in the past. Maybe it's because the damage isn't what it used to be. I don't know.
That is a very decent point. Oh, I bring up Archons as well, but Disruptors still litter the ground, so ground's not the way to go. But yeah, Tempest for the range. I mean, there's going to be a point where it's not just about income determining what you build, but also they're going to get to that, like, I have maxed out army and a decent bank. What is the perfect army for Protoss? And I'm not sure.
And someone in chat's trying to be snarky. I want to correct this. Someone tells ShoWTimE sentries don't affect air units. That's totally wrong. Guardian Shield absolutely affects air units.
You should subscribe to my channel and watch more tips and tricks videos, you noob.
Have you done one on this?
Hey, yeah, exactly this.
Nice. Yeah,
nice.
I really think that when it comes to, like, heavily armored units being hit by units that don't have much damage, Guardian Shield is so invaluable in this situation. So he does pop it, and look at that, guys. Carriers actually have the buff, so it's not just hearsay and speculation. That being said, though, the carrier count's surprisingly close. Disruptors launched underneath to try and hit the Stalkers, but Neeb's focus firing better a lot more than ShoWTimE is, but ShoWTimE still got 3 carriers up over Neeb.
Oh god, is this how it's gonna end? The Stalkers all get obliterated, and Neeb was kind of hoping though he would help out more than they did. The Zealots are trying very hard to take out the Disruptors, but again, Stalkers taken out, and that's game.
Deep breaths, everybody. ShoWTimE takes a 2-1 lead in the finals.
But what the flip was that game? But what really happened?
That game was Welcome to DreamHack, where you were sleeping, I guess.
Did that really happen in DreamHack stage?
But not with the hidden base.
Ah, okay.
All right, guys, we got to take a commercial break after that one. Thank you, T-Wave, getting closer to that 2-year baby. P.S. How again am I supposed to message you for the Partoof coin? On Twitch, there's like the message box, right? Like if you go to the bottom left, click on that thing, go to your messages, and send us a message here on BaseTradeTV. You just request, hey, do I qualify for a Partoof or whatever? If you do, you get a response. If you don't, I'm either lazy or you don't qualify. One of the two. Anyways, ad break. See you guys soon. All right, we're loading into game 3, or excuse me, game 4. And wow, my voice died on me during the break, apparently. Spawning here in the top left. He's on his last life for the finals. Ladies and gentlemen, in this best of 5, it's going to be Ting's Neeb.
In the bottom right is the blue Protoss. It is ShoWTimE.
I gotta fix that camera again. This bug's getting out of control.
Yeah.
But this is another map. We might see carriers. We might see DTs. I mean, the thing that's actually kind of crazy is we know Neeb's the top of the game, right? Like, congratulations, you just won DreamHack. Woo!
Yay.
But ShoWTimE is actually another favorite to win DreamHack. And he's actually quite good at StarCraft. And this is like probably some of the highest level PvP. I'll say this. This might even be higher level than some of the Korean PvP out there, right? So, yeah, these games sometimes get a little bit one-sided as they go on further, and the builds are making me go WTF. But this is also so sick because I never got bored per se, but it was pretty stale seeing the same builds all the time, always in these PvPs. We're like, okay, it's Blinkstalker Disruptor, it's Zealot Archon, and anything in between is just bad.
I love regular PvP. I'll say it.
I do too, but I'm loving that there's like this next level to it where like two guys who can do regular PvP so well have to go somewhere else because they both know regular PvP so well.
I mean, there's that. I really do wonder what prompts some of these decisions, whether it is the idea of like, I know he would counter whatever I threw at him, or they are taking the opportunity in an online cup to really counter each other from their offline tournament results earlier, but it's turning into very wonky games either way, whatever the reasonings are. Hidden bases galore, technically 2, although ShoWTimE's on Proxima is a little bit weirder, and lots and lots of Stargates. Where's the good old just Blinkstalker, try and win attack? If one of you was hero, you'd already have done it.
Right? Actually, if one of these guys was hero, we'd probably see something really dumb like 5 gateway proxy.
Maybe. I don't know if he's ever done that. Oh man, can you believe that last game started off with Neeb killing 10 probes?
You know what? I actually totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I had been so like Neeb, you know, favored for that game up until he started losing the carrier war, basically. Like even when he was losing the disruptor wars, he had still the greater supply by 10 or 20, and he was still expanding. And I was like, well, you know, all it takes is one of these guys to mess up. But Neeb had gotten the earlier advantage, and then the carrier thing got really out of hand. And yeah, well, ShoWTimE was late to Graviton Catapult. He did get the better upgrades overall, so I guess that's what mattered. But damn, that was weird. So Neeb might have also felt a little bit salty about that.
Phrase out of hand just triggered this quick memory where you know, this is those dumb hand puns for like, oh, is your hand your girlfriend? And you're like, oh, it's hand Jelena
Oh,
Jolie.
Jill and sure, yeah.
So we're trying to teach True the different names to see if puns would translate. None of them did except for Lindsay Lohan. And I almost think like he only laughed at that one because it was Lindsay Lohan and she's such a joke anyway. It's not because he understood the pun for it.
Gotcha. Yeah. I didn't get to say anything to True at the after party, but I heard that he was quite fun actually.
True's
kind of a reserved guy. Speak a lot of English.
He was actually kind of quiet when I ran into him a couple of times early on in the night, and just chilled and laid back. He's really nice though. I think it's the first time I actually met True in person.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess you wouldn't have. You'd left Korea by the time that I hung out with him.
I love this. I'm sorry. I'm gonna read this out loud. Hard Revenge says BaseTradeTV. Neeb only won DreamHack because it wasn't a major finals. You can see that the tournament wasn't special.
It's a pun on the fact that Major was playing, I guess.
It's like a double pun too. I love it.
Special.
I think you're done with the pun, but there's just like that little bit more at the end.
Keeps on coming. Alright, Neeb is the one this game to lose 5 probes right off the bat. He does have Adepts trying to get something done in return, but not any luck yet.
No.
He's a Phoenix.
Well,
he's 2 Phoenix.
Actually, so that's pretty important. Realizing what the composition is going to be, because for him, he has a hard decision to make. Let's either throw down 2 Stargates like right frickin' now and play catch up, or play around this entirely.
Oh,
and look towards
yeah,
things like Blinkstalkers, Archons, whatever.
As funny as these games have been with Phoenix, Phoenix, and Stargate, Stargate, this is a normal game. This is a normal, oh, you went Stargate, I went Twilight Council, let's just continue on our way. I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, me too. Did he see the Twilight Council though, actually? Can I transition out? No. I guess... again, with these two being as high level as they are and top at the top when it comes to PvP for foreigners, there might just simply be this assumption, like, it's so easy for Neeb to subtly read, oh, you know, I didn't see 2 Stargates and you only had 2 Phoenix, so I know you're only opening with this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really easy enough. I mean, really, we wouldn't even be questioning this if we hadn't seen the earlier 3 games. Otherwise, this is a very, very normal thing to see. Like, a couple Phoenix out, okay, big deal. I'm going for Twilight Count 2 for Stargate. But it's when Stargate versus Stargate happens in any capacity that even if you didn't plan on dedicating to it, like, it might be the better option. Makes a lot more sense to ShoWTimE to just transfer out, and this Hallucinated Phoenix is going to confirm that if there was even a little bit of suspicion.
Yeah, no doubt in his mind now, which is awesome. For ShoWTimE, though, that doesn't make these Phoenix useless. Not only can they continue to scout, they might be able to harass, pick off the odd thing here or there. But I do wonder, like, when it comes down to the more, I guess I'm going to use air quotes, but you can't see me using air quotes, like straight up game, what does that entail? Is it still, like, they both went for Blink first, so I'm assuming it's Blink, Stalker, Disruptor. That last game started as Blink, Stalker, Disruptor and still transitioned into carriers later on.
Yeah, right. Oh boy. Both getting Blink, Stalker, Disruptor, but a little bit faster, a little bit more on Neeb's side with already double Robo. And I guess he has a bit of an upgrade lead, but that didn't matter last game either. Constantly hallucinating, scouting Phoenixes. I mean, obviously ShoWTimE has his own real Phoenixes that could do the same thing, but doesn't want to lose them. And they are both going for 3rd bases, Disruptors, Forges. I mean, they want to make sure that's what each other's going for, but it's might be another long game.
Well, ShoWTimE takes his on his side of the map, which is great. Some folks in chat. Oh, sorry, go on.
I was going to say, Newkirk isn't exactly famous for proxies, but Belshire is even less famous for proxy, or hidden bases.
I don't even know where you'd have to take this one, I think, if any. To try and get
yeah.
But, people in chat are speculating, like, how tilted do you think Neeb was when he found out about it? I feel like Neeb probably blew some air out of his nose extra hard, a little bit annoyed. I don't imagine he was particularly raging about finding a base like that.
Yeah. I don't think Neeb rages at all. I mean, he's usually just eager to perform better the next game, is what he says is, like, you know, that's his mentality about it. But if he does have any feelings about a game that's bad, it's usually that he didn't do well enough, and then he starts beating himself up. Yeah. So raging is not in that spectrum.
I gotta wonder if maybe that'd be better, though. Like, if Neeb had, like, a little bit more of a spark like to him.
A fuck you attitude. Are you saying that to teach him some aggressive
No, calm down there. You already ruined Scarlet. You don't need to go ruin poor Neeb, too.
I don't know.
Scarlet's at least old enough. You know, Neeb's so young and impressionable, what? Okay? Don't...
What?
She's an adult who can make her own decisions. Neeb can't even drink yet, okay?
But he's 19. Man, this kid... He can go to the military, okay? Like, that's not for the decision.
This kid has made more money in his career than I'll probably ever make. I feel like
probably,
age is the only thing...
Okay, not only do you include salary, but all the free perks that he gets for being on Ting, like, then that's when the numbers is just like, oh my god.
I'm just saying, age is the only thing I get to look down at him for. Like, I'm the pool boy who's making fun of his rich employer type thing.
Well, I guess, yeah, I'm gonna find something to look down on someone on. Age could be one of them.
It's the only thing. I cannot think of a single other thing I could do. Neeb is actually
you could probably beat him up.
Awesome.
Ah!
Maybe. But then he could use all that money that he's got to sue me. So, you know, not really an option.
Oh, that's a good point.
All right. I don't know how we came to this, but let's get back to the game. I'm having trouble breathing, so it's going to be you for a bit.
Okay. Neeb did add on a Stargate, but only because it is getting to that point of Disruptor Wars where you really want to have an Oracle. This will set them up to transfer over into a Fleet Beacon if this game goes on for a very long time, but we're still in this, like, middling point of PvP. Both getting charged, I think even a little bit earlier than last game when I noted that it might be worthwhile for Neeb, who had, like, a ton of money, as it can be helpful for run buys as well as getting on top of Disruptors. And upgrades have evened out from the beginning of the game, so even upgrades, even army, not army, expansions, but the army is what's really different, and that's a lot because Neeb just took that massive Disruptor hit where he lost like 4 Disruptors, I want to say. No, I'm just kidding. I was totally wrong. 2. It just made a huge explosion, so it looked like a lot more. But yeah, that's definitely where his armies apply. dip down. Weirdest revelation ever.
It's
Didn't catch anything. I think I caught the other Oracle.
yes.
Which is still useful, I suppose.
Man, what if while you had a revelation and an oracle, you could then see anything it revealed, which would be on your units, so you wouldn't. Maybe it already does that. You just wouldn't know. Whoa! 'Cause you're seeing through its eyes, right?
Sure. ShoWTimE is already on his way to Fleet Beacon and 2 more Stargates. I mean, he's been winning the Disruptor Wars, just like last game, but he's even being faster about following it up. And Neeb, and this is really odd. I didn't really get to emphasize it, I suppose. You just talked about, oh my god, was that 2 more Disruptors? That was like 3 or 4 more. He's up to 6 Disruptors lost.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's bad. Yeah, we didn't get to talk about it because the games have been so weird, but Neeb for a long time was the PvP master. I think that's why some people thought he'd do better against ShoWTimE than he thought he would. And then he did win at Austin. That was, what he won the Kespa Cup off the back of, and a lot of that was specifically Blink Stalker Disruptor. The fact that he's losing these wars consistently could just be EU to NA. Certainly that's why Mana thinks he beats Zest most of the time.
I don't know. Neeb has consistently. It's not about politeness. He just simply said he doesn't notice it. And let's not forget, he's like 7K MMR on Europe. Like, I don't think lag's a problem for him. I don't think you hit 7K MMR lagging 1,000 games in.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't think that's the case. But it's like just this best of 5 finals. Maybe it's the EU problems that's happening earlier. But something is off about Neeb's mid-game PvP this time, and he has now at this point lost the mid-game PvP and lost the late-game PvP. He's losing Disruptors, he's losing Stalkers, and he doesn't have Carriers.
Got another wonderful Disruptor hitting the left side, taking out the Disruptors of Neeb. It's nothing to fight with, and is beaten back by the Immortals. This has been a game that's had 2 wars going on at all times, left and right sides of the map, and Neeb's doing okay at defending on the right side, but he's been consistently losing on the left. And if the left side falls, that's when production gets compromised and this game is all over. Disruptor coming in, but it's not going to hit much. Some of the Zealots, sure, but the Immortals still stand, and those pylons will go down.
I think the game is already over just for the fact that ShoWTimE's already on his way to Carriers. 3 about to pop out.
Jeez, I didn't even look at production. I've been looking so much at the 2 different spots on the map for so long.
Yeah, I mean, he could lose all of his Disruptors right here, right now, and it just like, oh god, it looks so terrifying right there for a second. But that would be the only way Neeb could win, is by attacking right here, right now. Like, carry count's still low, and nothing else is available.
I don't think he's have carry, by the way. He didn't get high ground vision.
Yeah, and there's still another army that he hasn't dealt with that's filling the 3rd base, so maybe he's thinking that the light's still at the end of the tunnel, but it's really not. Just Carriers.
Carriers. Oh, it's like, I want to cheer for ShoWTimE. He's like the villain. I like to cheer for the villains. Let's go for Carriers, obviously.
Well, okay, we'll just, Neeb
what kind of good guy do you know of that would go for Carriers?
Neeb went for him last game.
Yeah, because he had to. What kind of self-respecting human being puts his foot down and says, you know what, I'll go Sky Toss? Only a villain, that's who.
Oh, that zoom in is so awkward with the lag.
It wasn't just you, it was on my end too. It's you know what? You think about it. Tassadar was like the ultimate good guy, right? What did he do? He crashed his carrier because he knew how gross it was.
Too soon?
Too soon?
Too soon?
Too soon? Overmind, never forget.
Yeah.
All right, well, I will say the carriers are certainly the tipping point in the battle. There's no mothership escorting them around, so maybe the Blink Stalkers, there are enough of them that I think they'll 2-volley the carriers down, but that being said, that means you blink forward into disruptor shots and you lose all the Stalkers to the cost of like 1 or 2 carriers. These disruptors are kind of like the Widowmines that protect Liberators for Terran, except in this case, it's the carriers for Protoss.
Mm-hmm. Neeb's got one less army fight in him, and unfortunately blinking on any carriers is not going to be too wise. The disruptors right there too.
Carry shot does go up. Gonna help a little bit. Actually helps a lot. Look at all that damage reduction. That should have been easily the disruptor going down.
Yeah. 2 more carriers on the way out, having +2 on them already. Neeb's not going to be transferring over in his own air anytime soon. Not realistically, and not in a winnable position.
I really like that he's going for an Oracle at least. I think Revelations are very important going forward. But that being said, I don't know the best way to to deal with this. He blinks in, so it's now on cooldown. Disruptors know this. They were a little bit closer. They would have gone for the shots. Interceptors, of course, are launching, no problem. He does have grappling catapult this time. Forces the fight. Shots going down. Neeb taps out, and ShoWTimE takes the series 3-1. Woo!
Wow.
All right, well, congratulations, ShoWTimE. You'll be the Corsair Cup Season 4 champion. And, of course, more importantly, get that auto invite back to next season. Season 5. That being said, if you guys did enjoy the tournament, whether it was today or over the course of this month, this is made possible thanks to the combination of Corsair and Twitch. If you want to support either of the sponsors for the event, consider going down below, clicking on the affiliate links, buying some of that gear. Corsair just launched a new mouse today, apparently. And then, of course, Twitch, you can just sub. It's all ready, good to go. Cheer bits, you name it. Helps out a ton. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. And I think that's going to be a quick wrap-up for us, really. Any shout-outs from you before we take off?
Just follow me on Twitter at ZG Gaming.
And, of course, for me, at Riff_Kings. Follow the channel if you're not already. We are actually going to be back, I think it's later tonight, right? Is that the first one? When's Steak's Penthouse Party?
Yes, it's in like 12 hours.
12 hours. 3 a.m. Hype. It's going to be stupidly long, and I actually want to make this clear. We told Take TV this as well. We have no intention of sitting around for like 14 hours casting, especially if it's going to be like last time where there's a lot of downtime. Don't get me wrong, a huge props to Take TV, and I love that they're continuing to make events, but I do not agree with the method of like 3 days condensed into 14-hour days. So we will cast and cover as much of it as we can, but there's a very high possibility we will not cover all of it. At least not for days 1 and day 2.
And I'm not sick, man, but it just feels like I'm like constantly putting effort into talking, right? Like it doesn't hurt.
Oh, I'm sick.
My throat isn't sore. Yeah, you're just straight up sick, but I just feel like my lungs need a break.
Well,
yeah.
We were actually discussing during the break about taking turns and like maybe she'll solo cast half, I'll solo cast half. I don't know, guys. We'll look into it. But anyways, that starts 12 hours from now, and we actually have Buell playing in it. So I know at the very least we're gonna be casting some Buell matches. No doubt about it. It is also worth noting the jersey has made its way to Korea. So I believe the way it worked was No Regret dropped the jersey off with Bunny, and Bunny's going to give it to Buell next time he sees him at like GSL or SSL or wherever the hell it is next. So I'm really excited for Buell to finally have a jersey, because this has been a very awkward road teaming up with him and having nobody recognize him being on a team.
Yeah. Maybe this will teach him.
Anyways, one last time before we go, I want to show off that t-shirt design. Again, this has been submitted. I'm just waiting for it to be approved. I love this shirt design. I think it's so cool. It's everything us, from the chat, the memes, the history, the emotes, you name it. People are saying there needs to be a title T in there, to which I say F you. But yeah, it's a really cool design. It's a Japanese artist. Been a big fan of him for a while, so I was super stoked when he was the one who agreed to make it. And did this awesome graffiti style I've been looking for. Anyways, we are actually done. I'm not sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the end stream thing up. I know Nate wanted to do some co-op. I might end up streaming the co-op point of view. I might just host them up afterwards. Either way, we're actually done with the casting. So again, thank you, Corsair, for making this possible. Thank you for Twitch making this possible. Thank you guys, the viewers, for tuning in. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.